After going through this module, you are expected to state Newton's first law of motion, define what is inertia, recognize the relationship of mass and inertia, explain the subtle distinction between Newton's first law of motion and Galileo's assertion that force is not necessary to sustain horizontal motion, and apply Newton's first law to understand the effect of applying a force on an object. Lesson 1: Understanding Newton's first law of motion. Inertia is the tendency of an object to resist change when in motion or when at rest. Newton's first law of motion is also called law of inertia. If an object is moving, inertia will keep it in motion. When it is at rest, it will continue to be at rest, unless there is a force applied on it. To get started, you have to choose the terms related to motion from the word pool below. List down these words on the table and write what you know about it. Feel free to pause. Activity 1.1. This is a bowling game. A heavy ball is rolled down a narrow lane aiming the pins. What makes the ball keep on rolling? What makes the pins fall in different direction? Guide questions. Point 1. What keeps an object at rest and what keeps it moving? Point 2. What caused the object change in motion? Point 3. How does an object's mass affect its inertia? Galileo and inertia. Galileo developed the first concept of laws of motion. Among these are the following. Developed the concept of motion in terms of velocity, speed, and direction by using inclined planes. Developed the idea of force that causes motion. Determined that the natural state of an object is rest or uniformed motion. Developed the idea that objects resist motion, inertia. The first image with a steep angle ball will roll small dist once to attain the original height. The second picture, as the angle of the opposing incline is reduced, the ball must roll even a farther distance in order to attain the original height. What happens if the opposing incline is not inclined? The third picture, if a ball stops when it attains its original height, then this ball would never stop. It would roll forever if friction were absent. Isaac Newton and his first law of motion. Isaac Newton was born the same year Galileo died. Newton's law of inertia is based on Galileo's idea of inertia. He expanded Galileo's work and came up with his 3 laws of motion. Newton's first law of motion states that, quote, an object at rest stays at rest, and an object in motion stays in motion with the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Mass and inertia. An object's inertia depends on its mass. Mass is the amount of matter or substance that makes up an object. It is measured in units called kilogram. An object with a greater mass has a greater inertia, and an object with a lesser mass will also have a lesser inertia. An object's tendency to resist change in its motion depends on its mass. Below is a wooden box and a styrofoam box. Which do you think has a greater mass? Lesser. Which has a greater inertia? Exploring inertia. Inertia has 3 types. Asterisk inertia of rest: an object will stay in place unless something or somebody moves it. Example, a plate on the table. Asterisk inertia of motion: an object will continue at the same speed until a force acts on it. Example, a rolling ball. Asterisk inertia of direction: an object will stay moving in the same direction unless a force acts on it. Example, a moving car turning right. Forces. What causes an object to move, to stop, or remain at rest? A force causes an object to move, to stop, or remain at rest. Asterisk force is defined as a push or a pull. Asterisk Newton, N, is the unit of force. Asterisk 1 Newton is the amount of force required to give a 1 kilogram mass and acceleration OFL MOSRS. Thus, the following unit equivalency can be stated as friction. A rolling marble on the floor that suddenly stops when it reached a rough surface does not stop because of the absence of a force. It stops because of the presence of a force called friction. Asterisk friction is a force that opposes motion between any surfaces that are touching. Asterisk friction occurs because no surface is perfectly smooth. Rough surfaces have more friction than smooth surfaces. Asterisk heavier objects also have more friction because they are pressed harder with greater force than lighter objects. Asterisk friction produces heat because it causes the molecules on rubbing surfaces to move faster and have more energy. An object at rest stays at rest. And an object in motion stays in motion, with the same speed and in the same direction, unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Balanced and unbalanced. A balanced force is a force in which the net force is equal to zero. What is a net force? A net force is the total combination of forces, in opposite direction or the same direction, acting on an object. Since the two forces are equal and in opposite directions, they balanced each other. The net force is zero. It means the flower vase is at its equilibrium. There is no unbalanced force acting on it, thus it remains at rest. What is an unbalanced force? An unbalanced force is a force in which the net force is greater than zero. The force produced by the right team is greater than the left team by 10N tipping the rope to the right direction. Unbalanced forces cause acceleration. Only unbalanced force can change the motion and direction of an object. Example: your pet dog can move you faster if he pulls you with enough force. Test your understanding on the different types of inertia. Read and analyze the different situations given below. Identify the type of inertia. Use a separate sheet of paper for your answer. Feel free to pause.